Welcome back. So we got the engine coming along, but today I decided to go through the transmission. It doesn't leak too bad, but I got a gasket set here, and we're going to drain the oil, clean it all up, pop this back housing off here, and reverse some firster in here so we can kind of check what those gears look like, and hopefully it don't look too bad. So we just put everything back together, reseal it. I'm not going to replace this seal here because that actually sets the pinion depth on the ring gear. So I don't want to mess with that. So first I'm going to drain the oil out. We're going to clean this thing up just with some brake clean and brushes basically, and some rags. And then, we'll take these axle stubs off, replace all the seals, take this off like I said. So let's get to it. All right, let's drain the oil out of this thing. I'm going to start with the top plug here. You always want to start with the top plug in case, the top plug seized and you drain out the bottom. You're going to have trouble getting the oil in there. Not so much when it's out of the car, but when it's in the car, that's the oil to go by. Oh, she's full. That's good. Oil looks good. That's in there good. See how this oil looks. I'm going to be replacing it, obviously, but. It looks like gear oil. Smells like gear oil. Ugh. Yep, pretty clean. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's see what the drain plug has on it with this magnet. Definitely some goop. Mostly there's obviously some fuzzies on here, but hard to say if it's goop or metal shards. Nothing too bad. Well, we'll see how it is when we open it up. I'm going to pop in the top plug just so I don't forget. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is take the transmission mount off. So let me get these off. I did drain it, so there shouldn't be too much stuff coming out of here. All right, I'm going to take these off. So this transmission is a 901 transmission. But it's the later version, so it's a 911 transmission. Which, based on what I've read, the only difference is, if you remember when we took the engine out of the car, we had to disconnect the clutch and had that crazy clutch mechanism. So that's what makes it a 911, is the cable mounted, and then like the housing of the cable is actually what actuates the clutch. So that's how we know this is a 911. Also says 911 right here. The serial number's down here. Seems like that also changes. Like all the pictures I saw was on a pad somewhere, but this one's just stamped in the bottom. Just come off. Yep. There we go. All right. Of course, there's 4 different washers on here because, it's kind of just how this car is. Next, I'm going to take off the throttle linkage here. And then we'll probably take out these axles. And then, I guess we can do that later. We'll take the back housing off after I take this off. I'm gonna flip this thing back. Actually, I'm gonna take this nut right here off while I have easy access. Before I flip it back over. Oh. Plates are on here too, I don't want those to fall off. Let them go. Alright, flip this back around. Yeah, unfortunately, I never really got to drive the car with this transmission other than pull it in the garage. Because it barely ran when it got here. And then, you know, I got the car running, but it's been just snowing like crazy. And the roads are covered in salt, so not taking this thing out on that. So we're just gonna have to take a look inside and see what the deal is. I'm pretty confident it's probably okay. These ones are actually still good. Cool. Alright, so let's take this off. Let me get this out of the way first. Ground strap right there. There's like 6 washers on here. Okay. This out. Assuming that's how this comes out. Oh, that's been helical oiled. Cool. Yep, every part of this car has been, you know, worked on. Okay, so to pull out the speedometer cable linkage, just had to undo this bolt here. It should pull out. Yep, little gear there. Cool. Pretty neat. Okay, so now we should be able to take the tail housing off. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to bump this off, but yeah, let me get it. I know when you see me with a big pry bar, you probably think, uh-oh, but I'm not doing anything crazy. And, you know, the bigger the tool, you can actually put less pressure on, you know, more area, if you're careful. I don't know if I'm able to do that. Yeah, there we go. There. See, there's a spot over here I can do a little prying on. Yeah, that came right off. That should be good. Pull this off. Oh my gosh, it's lost. There we go. Wow, this looks really good in here. So that's good. So now I've got the tail housing off. I'm gonna take off this first gear shift fork and we'll take the slide ring off and see if there's any wear. I can already see in here that the, you know, the synchro gears are on first gear or whatever that is. Looks pretty good, and I'll show you what I mean. But pretty much just gotta take this bolt off here and take it all the way out because this shift rod is grooved. Okay, so we'll pull this off. I'm gonna take this out if I want. So now we got the slide ring off. Let me kind of explain how this works, at least as best as I can understand it. So this is on here, and when you shift into gear, which is in another gear right now, so it's not gonna go on there, but this slides in, and these little gears on here slide into here. So what wears is either in here wears or these wear down or both. These look great. These literally look, I mean, they look, yeah, just about perfect. I don't see any worn down ones. A little wear on like the edges of them, but they all look pretty good based on what I've seen on the internet at least. You know, these can get completely worn down. And then on here, on the slider ring, there is some wear on here. You can kind of feel it in here, but barely. Again, from the ones I saw pictures of, I mean, these are completely gone. I mean, you can see a little wear. You can kind of feel a little bit of groove, but I think this is good to go. Yeah, this all looks pretty good. So I'm gonna pop these back on. Like this. Obviously, ideally, we would check all of the gears, but first is usually the one that goes bad because people just slam it down in first when you really shouldn't. And it's fine, and I think the rest of them are also going to be fine. Oop, am I putting this on backwards? Yes, I am. All right. There we go. Okay, slide that on. Put this bolt back in. So I'm trying to see if I can show how it goes into first gear. It's in first gear right now. So let's pop it out and you can see that's all spinning as one. So if I pop it out of first gear, there we go. That's the middle of the gate. Try to pull it up here. There we go. That's how it engages into first. So yeah, those are spinning. Try one more time. Okay, so you can see they're spinning different speeds. We're in neutral right now. And then if we pop it into first, now they're spinning at the same speed. And you can see how this slider gear slides onto first gear here. It's pretty cool. All right, well, before I put the tail housing back on, I gotta change this little seal back here for the shift rod. So before I turn this over, I'm just gonna take this reverse gear out. Just kind of remember how it goes. So I'm just gonna lay reverse gear out here in the order it goes. So I don't forget it. Good, that should be good. Okay, so next. Well, I can clean this up real quick too. What's this? Whatever, that'll work. All right, clean this up real quick. Put that in a second. Okay, should be able to pull this out of here. You get a lot of screwdriver. This is right there. There you go. Let's see this. All right, well that worked. Just gonna wipe that out. Kit here. Hammer action on here. Flush. Sweet. So that's good to go. Now I can, I'm going to clean up this real quick. Just get my razor over here. Clean up the surface. It's pretty good, but there's just a couple. So to make sure that there's no dirt in there from scraping and moving this thing around. So just kind of wipe it out. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so let's see what the right. This is a bunch of gaskets in it. These paper gaskets, like I said, the pinion spacing off of the ring gear is set by putting these in more paper gaskets. And I'm not going to mess with that because that gasket is not leaking. At least I don't think it is. So we'll just put this one on. That'll be good to go. So this is definitely the right one. So we'll get that ready. Put these back on. Yep. All right. So this tail housing is ready to go. We just need to get the old gasket off the transmission, put this one on, and then tighten it up. To do that shifting around, I had to put these on here so that this part of the transmission housing didn't come off. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid of that. These gaskets are nice. Good gasket here. Come off a little better. That's better. A lot better than gaskets. Yeah. Come off pretty easy. Do my best not to get any of it in the transmission. Okay, now that I'm sure there's no old gasket blocking anything, get this gasket out of here. Material. Don't want any of that in the transmission. That all looks good. Put this gasket on here. Yeah, there we go. Slide this on here. So the problem I'm having is when I slide this on, this gear rides up onto this gear. It doesn't let me go forward anymore. It came out, but I'm thinking that this slid a little bit. I'm gonna try kind of cheating that on there. I could take this whole shaft out, but I really don't want to do that. I don't think I should have to do that. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Just had to slide that over. Yep. On its own. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start a new gauge. I just don't see why this wouldn't just slide on. Oh, it is. Okay, there we go. All right. You never want to force this on, you know, but it went on pretty easily, so that's good. All right, I'm gonna do a quick Google here, see what these are torqued to, and we'll keep on moving. All right, look at the torque specs. It says about 17. I'm gonna do 20 because I'm using this extension. And also the torque wrench isn't great. All right, so. Okay. I'm gonna do that bottom one. I can't get a torque wrench in there, so I'm just gonna kind of feel how tight this is. I'm pretty tight, man. Yep, that feels pretty good. All right, so I'm going to throw a new O-ring on the speedometer gearing that goes into here. Then I'm going to put the new bushings and the throttle linkage that goes on here. Then we'll put that in, and then we'll take out the axles here and work our way down. Okay, I've got my throttle linkage thing here, and then also the gearing for the speedometer cable. So first I'm going to take these bushings out of here. Some look too bad, but you can never tell how rounded out they are, really. A little oval. All right, got those out. All right, let's see here. That one in. It's weird, these are both Euro parts and they came in different packages. One must be a lot older than the other. Alright. New bushings on that. These did not come with the transmission kit, by the way. I had to order those separately. Let me see, I'll tell you what part number they are. 914-423-21100 for these guys here. You need two of them. Alright, so next I'm going to place this O-ring, which did come with the transmission kit. Get these out of here. Oops. Okay. Pull this off. Get this guy on there. Nice. So I just have to put a dab of gear oil on this and slide this in. That'll be good to go. Get this in here. And do this full hands that slides. So the way this works is we slide this in there and then screw this into the housing. That kind of locks that in there. So this in here. There we go. Put that on there, right? A little bit there, but I think that's just how it is. Should be good. All right, so next. This was a little, all-purpose wheel bearing grease. I greased this up. I had to look at the video again to remember which way this went, but the little ball joint goes towards the transmission, and this flat portion, that's actually what comes down from the engine, goes out. So I'm just going to kind of put this on here, rotate as I go, put this under here. Yeah, it's nice and smooth. Excess off of there. Okay. I might throw another washer on there later, because any play, even left and right, is going to affect it this way a little bit. That is nice and smooth, so that'll be nice. Okay, so now the tail housing's done, and we can move on to up here. One thing I forgot about, we're gonna change real quick, is the gasket for this cover right here. I'm pretty sure this is for the side shift, so like when this transmission's in a 914, the shifter doesn't come out the back, obviously, because it's the other way around, and it goes into here instead. But anyways, take this off, we'll clean the cover up, put it in the new gasket. Should be good. Toss this on there. All right, well, it's the next day. I ran out of time working on this thing. And also, I kind of messed up when I took this thing out. At least I don't think I did. I was trying to make sure that it was in neutral. And I can see now that it's there. So that has to go over the, okay, I see what happened. Get the camera in closer here. Okay, so here's how this goes in. So we've got this piece here. Yeah. And you can see, okay. So here's the piece I had a little trouble installing, but I quickly figured it out. So we got I'm moving the shift selector now, which is in neutral. So this is in the gate there. And you see I can move it way too freely right now because this piece here that we changed the gasket for is the pivot for this. So instead of being able to move back and forth, it'll shift gears. But to get this in there, we need to kind of slide this in and latch underneath the top of these right here. There's also a gate up here it needs to go into. So I got this in that center groove that's up here in this other rod. And I'm turning it up with the shift selector. So I'm just going to put this in here, kind of scoop it underneath so that it grabs, yep, under that. And then, yep, that went down. Yeah, so now I can't move that back and forth as much anymore because, yeah, so we can get into different gates. Everything's lined up, good to go. So I was right in having to have the transmission in neutral when I took this out. I just didn't know exactly how to get it underneath of that shift rod, fork, do-ever. All right. Got the new gasket in there. Sorted out the shifter rod selector situation in there. So I'm going to put this hardware back on. These are supposed to be torqued to 20 Newton meters, which is about 15 foot-pounds. So that's what I'll go with. It's like 14.75, but I'm just going to go with 15. All right. All right, that's good to go. Okay, next thing we're going to do is change the output shaft seals. There's a little bit of trickery into that. Oh, can't go that way. That's too long. I'll go this way. So we'll do this one. I just saw that move down there, but these should move a little bit, but if they move a whole lot, then it's wore out, but that should be fine. So I'm going to take this off, and then we'll take this off, change the O-ring in there, clean everything up, check out what the differential looks like, and then put this side back together, do the same with the other. You pretty much need an impact to take these off. You could do it with a wrench, but it'd be a lot harder. Come on here, 2. Nope, more beef. Just comes right out. Take all these off here. I doubt this is going to come off very easily, so do a little bit of prying. Oh, that wasn't good. Easy. That wasn't too hard. Looks pretty good. So let's clean this up, put a new seal in it, and then, ooh, oh yeah, okay, it has the O-ring here. Put the new O-ring on it, pop this back on. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean this up here. Just want to get any of the sludge that's built up over time out of here. It doesn't need to be perfect, but anything you get out, the better. I also want to make sure that this paper towel is not shedding in here. Yeah, I'll take it with a rag, actually. Get a slightly cleaner, dirty microfiber. There we go. Yeah, this don't shed as much in here. So it looks like this seal is just bottomed out. Because I was unsure. I know there's special tools to put these seals in, and in some cases those like set the depth of this seal. But it looks like this one's just hammered all the way into the bearing race. So that's what I'll do. First I'm going to change this O-ring though. It is cooked. It wasn't leaking though, so it's doing its job. We'll change that out. I got a new one right here. New one. There we go. I got the new seal in there. That looks good. Don't really have a socket big enough to do that. I could use some pieces of wood. Actually, that's what I'll do. That's right here. Okay. Tap the seal out here. Came right out. That's pretty, well, like the seal itself is actually pretty soft, but it just looks like not great. Okay. Put this on the flat part down here. I'll wipe this out. Didn't work out. Okay. I don't have anything bigger. I swear I had bigger sockets. Usually holds. Hold on, let's see if this works here. That's way better. All right. So I just put the old seal on top of the socket and using that to hammer it in. That's going in nice and even. And I can kind of use this old seal, put it up against the lip that's in here, and then not hit any further down. My plan. That is looking pretty good. All right. look like inside. Yeah, that looks good. All right, that's one seal installed. Got the O-ring on so I can pop this back on. I'm not gonna make the same mistake on the other side. I'm gonna measure the depth and get it close because that was a mess. Okay, got my cover here. Put this back on. Got the new O-ring in. Make sure this is cleaned out in here. Nothing in our way here. Put it in there nice. So I'm going to put a couple bolts on. Actually, I can put all the bolts on. I'm going to torque these down to 20 foot-pounds. I actually don't know the exact torque spec, but based on the size of the nut, it's about what it should be. And if it leaks, I can tighten it down later. So, put a star pattern, obviously. All right, that's on there. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna go clean this up real quick. What I'm gonna do. Okay, so when I put the seal in, I purposely put it in, if anything, not deep enough, so that I can put this axle stub in here and see if the lip of this lines up with the lip on here. You can see on this one here that the old seal polished it clean. So when I put this in there, I'm going to see if it lines up, and if this goes too far in, that means I got to put hammer the seal in a little bit more until we get a level. So that's what I'm going to do next. So let's see here. Yeah, that actually looks pretty. How do I get the seal down in there? Yeah, it's pretty bang on, so I think that's good. I'm gonna take this out, put a little oil on it, put it back in, and then put the bolt on and torque that down. All right, clean this off, got it lubed up. So pop this in here. Yep, there we go. And get the bolt. So I cleaned up this bolt and put some red Loctite on it, because apparently the torque spec is only like 18 foot-pounds. Which I guess, you know, it's not too big, and it's really not doing anything structural. It's really just holding that in there. You know, the turning force is going through those splines, so you get the 19 for that. Thunder is something else. January Thunder. February tomorrow. I'm gonna leave this on 20. Okay, that's in there. I'm probably gonna have to get 2 bolts. Which are all in the cleaner, of course. Torque this down. We'll toss 2 of these bolts in here. I've never heard that. Oh my gosh. I've never heard thunder like that in January. I have heard thunder snow a bunch of times. People like it's super rare. I've heard it like at least 10 times, but I've never heard thunder like that this time of year. While there's still snow on the ground anyways. So, turn this way. Oop, no, I'll do it. So, 20 foot-pounds. All right, that side's torqued. Really raining. too. So this side's good to go. Flip it over to the other side. I'm not making the same mistake again. I'm going to measure the depth of this one before I pull it out. So this is going to be a perfect measure because it's, you know, there's a lot of variables here, but I can get a pretty approximate estimation here. Pretty level. That's 0.25, 0.205. This is also this one's not even straight, but it's about 2/10 of an inch in there. Let's try over here. Making sure eyeballing that it's level with the seal. We got, yeah, 0.23. So I'm going to go for 0.23 in on the new one. So we'll remove our 6,000 here. Let me wipe it off actually. Because obviously, no cover to come off on this side, so we kind of just got to pull it out the old-fashioned way. There we go. Let's see if I can hammer that back flat so we can use it to hit. Ooh, there's a spider in there. Get that out of there. All right. Okay. I don't know why I thought I had to hammer that flat. I just got the other old seal from the other side. And it fits perfectly on this socket, which is nice. So anyways, let me wipe that out. A little bit of stuff in there. Let's get this dust out of there. It just fell in from us. There we go. Alright. So, put this in there level. A little harder because we're not really level on here. Big hammer. Get this even on there. Best I can. Really hard to hammer straight on an engine stand with the engine not level because the pins are only so. Yep, doing pretty good. A little deeper here. Top. One more on the side. One on the bottom. One more on the bottom. Okay, that looks pretty good. Measure real quick. It still set where the other one was, so we got to go in a little further. Well, this side's good. Yep. A little more on the top. A little more on the bottom. So this side's good. Got to go everywhere else. So I'm gonna hit it over here. Bring all that down. good. That's dead on. Maybe a little even. Okay, that's dead even in there. It's about exactly the same depth as the old one. I'm still going to confirm with the output shaft itself. But let me clean this up. We'll pop it in. And yeah, tighten it all up. Same thing, pop this in. Confirm the seal fitment. Yeah, that's about dead on. Perfect. Okay, get the bolt ready to go. Okay, pop that in there. There we go. Well, that about does it for our transmission freshen up here. You know, we replaced all the seals, checked first gear, that looks good. Based on what I can see in there, I mean, this transmission's in great shape, so I'm not too worried about it. I do still need to put fluid in it, and I also need to change the input shaft seal, which I can't really do on the stand, so I'll wait till it's back on the hoist right before I put it on the engine. I'll change that one out. Maybe that'll be in a different video. I guess I could throw it in a video when I'm putting this on there. So stay tuned for that if you want to watch that. I have to say, based on how clean the engine was inside and how good a shape this transmission was inside, and the odometer in the car reading 60,000 miles, it leads me to believe this car might actually have 60,000 original miles on it. I mean, unless the engine was rebuilt and this was rebuilt or replaced or something, it's just in great shape. I mean, there's not really any rust. The interior is in great shape. There's not really any wear in the interior. I would be surprised if it had 160. But then, like, you know, the paint's pretty shot. It has like 3 coats of paint on it, so maybe it just sat outside a lot. I'm not sure. But regardless, transmission's ready to go. Engine's almost ready to go. That'll be its own video. And then we'll be hooking this up to the engine, probably in that same video. And then I got to replace all the bushings in the rear suspension before I put the engine and transmission in. But once I get those bushings done, engine and transmission in, we got to sort a lot of the wiring out, and then we can drive it, which is what I'm excited for. And then I'll probably do the interior after I drive it, because I just want to drive it. So we'll get to that. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want, like. It always helps the channel, especially if you want to follow along with the project. And we got more projects. I got my 2002 back there. I have actually a video of getting that thing running, sort of, not really done. Got my E39 up there. Needs a lot of work, so we got a lot of things coming. I got an old 5 Series coming in, needs a lot of work, but you know, we'll see. So thanks for watching. See you next time.